What's going on, everyone? Welcome to... What the fuck? You hear that then?
No.
The phone just started doing like a football chant on its own. Wow,
Right.
completely ruined the intro. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Real Red Sox. This is Late Night Live with me, myself, and Mr. Sam McCabe alongside me. A few kind of weird bits of news spreading about with and Bumo's interview. We're going to discuss some bits on Le Mans, some bit on Onana, on Visser. But what we really want to do is, because we rarely get a chance with, because it's always a news cycle constantly. It's always like, this is the next bit, this is the next bit. More have kind of opportunity to have a general conversation about goalkeepers or strikers and where we're going to kind of pivot to next and what would be the right decision for what reason. Because I think it's important. So I'll put the topics on the screen for you just so you know the other things that we're covering. We will talk about all that. And of course, get your opinions in as well. And also towards the end, do a bit of a Q&A. Anything that you guys want to kind of get off your chest or any questions you want to ask or anything at all. Anything at all. It's Late Night Live. Who knows what could happen. So just get that in the comments section. Of course, we'll read out your comments as we go through the live. How are we doing, Sam?
Yeah, bit of a more chill day today on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. I've been staring at the screen a lot today, so
Same.
glasses are definitely needed.
That's what these are.
Exactly. Let's kick it off with this goalkeeper and striker conversation because we just had a bit of news. I think Muppeteers went live before speaking about a potential swap deal being offered with Garnacho still in the ranks there, waiting to be sold, and a situation with Chelsea ongoing with Nicholas Jackson. Let's just ask your opinion on that first and foremost, because it seems like United keep going for Premier League proven players. So that to me would suggest that maybe the next striker at Manchester United, the final piece of that attack, is either going to be Nicholas Jackson or Ollie Watkins. How do you feel about both them players?
If I had a choice between the two, I'm going Ollie Watkins. That'd probably be my choice. I saw Laurie Whitwell report and David Ornstein basically that Sesko is on the discussion, but unless his price and his wages change, they're probably not going to move for him. So that probably rules him out at this point. So yeah, it seems like the two on the deck are going to be Nicola Jackson and Ollie Watkins. We've spoken in depth about sort of Nicola Jackson. People know my thoughts. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think he's as terrible as everybody says he is. Like, I do think he has attributes that would work in this system. It does miss a lot of chances, which is an issue. His attitude has been questioned at times as well, that he's outside activities. So there's a lot of sort of stuff. And also, would not getting a price for Garnacho be better for us than getting a swap in terms of sort of PSR and sort of financial restrictions? Would that not be better for us?
What if you can't move him on, though?
Well, that's the issue, and that's the issue with all our players, though, isn't it? Like, moving them on. Like, that's the big problem with all of them.
Yeah. I just think if you're going to be box clever or be smart, do that if you need to. If you need to, even with Aston Villa, I don't know if that would work. I don't know if Villa would want to do that. I know they are interested in Garnacho.
Yeah.
We're interested in Watkins. We're also interested in Emi Martinez. So could something not be done there? I don't know. I don't think there's as much pressure for Aston Villa to sell as well because they've sold the women's team, haven't they, or something to themselves. So they've done a Chelsea basically, and they've given themselves a bit more money.
As well, Villa do play with wingers, and they had two last season, obviously Rashford and Asensio, and they've both gone. So you would suggest that they still want a winger, because I know they've got Leon Bailey still, and who's the other guy? I keep forgetting it. Maddison, he plays out there sometimes as well, doesn't he? I know he's more of a wing back, but he can play out there. So you'd suggest that they're in need of ones, and I've seen reports. I don't know how confirmed they are, but Garnacho would be open to going to Villa as well. Yeah. So yeah, I think that deal could be done. If we're going to do a swap deal, that would be the one I'd like to do, ideally.
I think as well, Villa would prefer cash for the Watkins deal, because he's 29 now.
They've got PSR concerns as well.
It only put them in the green shoots, wouldn't it, by doing that? Yeah. So, Moondog saying you need a keeper. As Brian Clough would say, build a team from the back. Alisson was the missing piece for Liverpool. Czech was key for Chelsea, and then David De Gea made sure he didn't get relegated. I take your point with that, but for me, build from the back is a very defensive-minded coach. I feel like something that Sam Allardyce would say, or David Moyes. United's genetics and DNA is built on attacking football, and I think you should look to. Liverpool didn't do that first as well. They started scoring a lot of goals and they was leaking goals at the back. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but I think get your attack sorted, start scoring goals first and foremost, because that was the biggest red flag in my opinion last season. We could not score enough goals. 44 goals as a team together.
Also, if you think as well, like, yeah, Onana made quite a few mistakes, Bay India as well, if we're being honest. If we had forwards that were scoring goals, those mistakes wouldn't be as impactful as they were, because but they were only massively impactful and cost us games because we were unable to put a ball in the net at the other end. Had we been able to do that, maybe we don't lose some of those games that we've lost and we draw them. And some of those games that we ended up drawing, maybe we win them because we're able to score. So I think that's where you think, like, defenses will win you titles and goals will win you matches. And at the minute, we're not looking at titles or anything like that. We need to win games. So strikers, forwards, that's where you need to spend your money, I think.
I think to play devil's advocate, if you wanted to, you could look at it. Okay, we bought in Cunha and then Bumo. So if you wanted to switch it up tactically, you could go to a split striker system. If you wanted to play with Xerxes as the 9 and him dropping in and kind of becoming the facilitator like Firmino was for Salah and Mane, maybe you could do that potentially. We can't really rotate in the goalkeeper department, can we? Because whichever way you look at, they're pretty shit, if you're being honest. I know Onana is technically our number 1, but he just doesn't fill me with any confidence at all. So then you're like, well, let's say we can't get this striker deal over the line. Let's say something comes along the road and it's just difficult. They can't do it. Or they've got a pivot. I know you've mentioned in midfield before, but let's say we've got 60, 70 million pounds spent on a striker. Could we spend it on a midfielder? 60, 70 million?
100%. I think we could do a lot worse than spend it on a midfielder. I think if I'm looking at it personally, I think a midfielder is more important than a number 9 at the minute. Personally, I do think we need a number 9. I do think we are desperate for one, but that midfield is wide open all the time, just consistently wide open. And if you've got a spare 60, 70 million, maybe you can go out and get a decent midfielder. Like, I know Shumlin's release clause is like 60, 70 million euros. Example, you could go and get somebody like that. But a striker, maybe you could do a loan deal. Maybe, like you said, there's a swap deal. Maybe there's some sort of box clever thing you could do. Gonçalo Ramos on loan for PSG could be an option. Swap deal with Garnacho for Nicola Jackson or Ollie Watkins. There's some sort of like deal that could be done there. But getting a midfielder, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky. Like, where do we go for them? Who we're looking at? Like, who would be a great option? Is a difficult proposition in the midfield.
Well, Ornstein did confirm that we want a defensive midfielder in it, so they're definitely in the market for one. It's just not going to be a big spend, which is what worries me. And I think about all the best teams in the world at the moment, they all have an incredible defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Like the best in the world. Who's just won the Champions League? PSG. Look at Vitinha for them. Fucking unbelievable. City with Rodri, you can go to Real Madrid, centre of the park with Valverde, Bellingham,
Gravenberch as well in Liverpool.
Gravenberch with Liverpool, like, it's so important, and none of our midfielders are close to that level. Bruno Fernandes, in his own talent, right, is in the conversation for doing what he does, but as an actual midfielder in the middle of the park, we don't have anyone to that standard. So it just feels like, all right, well, we don't get a striker, we got to get a midfielder. There's going to be a hole at number 9. It's probably still going to be a bit of a hole at the goalkeeper position, because it seems like they're only going to spend 20 million on the goalkeeper. And he might end up coming good. He might be decent if it is Le Mans. I mean, we had an update before, didn't we? Coming out mentioning, I'll just read it out now. So United hold serious interest in Royal Antwerp's goalkeeper Son Le Mans. Understand personal terms will not be an issue. 23-year-old considers it a dream move. United inquired to, highly rated internally. Amorim has approved, focused on outgoings. That is the number 1 target, it seems to me, as the goalkeeper. So, yeah, if it's one that comes in, he's not going to be number 1 straight away, is he, Sam? He's going to be in a Romero situation, would you think? Yeah,
it seems like he's going to be a backup. And maybe, how old is he? He's in his early 20s, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like he's obviously one for the future, but maybe he can try and push Onana for that top spot, like, in the future. Obviously, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to shift Onana this summer. Because I think the money it would cost to get him out, and he's on a massive wage as well, so it's it's a tricky situation. Obviously, the season he had doesn't help things. So maybe we can get him in. We could offload Bayinde somewhere, sell him, and then we can use him as is like, right, Onana, you got to book your ideas up. Otherwise, this kid is taking your shirt, and give him cup games, give him time and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about the guy to sort of comment on how good he is. I've not seen him play at all. So
yeah. Moondog saying understandable, but yeah, need to protect yourself from the ground up, and you can't do that if you're losing. So the occasional win and draws will get the fans back on their side. Goals will come, just have to not concede them. My Damned United in the chat saying evening, Sam, Nick, and all in the chat. Rayanator, me personally, I'd rather invest in a 9 that can win us games, like Sam said earlier, and risk Amarim being able to get the best out of Cass, Ugarte, Mainu for 1 game a week. Then you have a bit of a what would you call it? A bit of congestion for minutes, would you not? You think, given that it's limited anyway because of no European football, what would you then do with Ugarte, Mainu, Cass, Bruno? Because you'll have to play, aren't they? So,
well, I think obviously we would have preferred to have got rid of Casemiro this summer, but again, wages, age, price just made that not a reality. Bruno could have gone, but chose not to, so he's still here. Ugarte, there's a question mark there, isn't there? Like he was in favour and then got dropped and just didn't play after that West Ham game. So there's a big question mark there. Toby Collier, where does he fit in? Could he be a guy? Kobe Mainu, where does he fit in? So I think if we were to bring in a midfielder, we'd probably have to shift one of them at least to sort of make room for them, in my opinion. And I don't know who you would pick in that sort of scenario.
Unless, again, if it's a similar type to what we're doing in the goalkeeper position with Le Mans, so it's like a 20 million buy or a young kid who seems like pretty promising and have gone out for. But I just think I'm telling you now, we're going to get a couple months into the season and we're going to start moaning about that midfield being run through.
Oh, yeah.
And the lack of speed and recovery runs and all that kind of stuff that's associated with it. Do we have the money scope PSR needed to significantly improve on Ugarte, though? Obviously, looks like Bruno's nailed on in one of those slots. Do you know what I find interesting about this whole PSR thing and what they was talking about? We've managed to spend 120 million, 125 million, call it, or maybe a little bit just over, on 2 players, and they want to get a striker, a midfielder, and a goalkeeper. That's going to cost you 200 million. So we can't be that cash struck.
I mean, it's all on Klarna, though, isn't it? It's all like spread out over 4 years, in Bumo's case, in 2 years in Cunha's case. So I imagine they're going to do a similar thing with whoever else they bring in. It's going to be spread over X amount of years. But they still have
to pay it, don't they? Like, we still owe 300 million transfers at the minute.
I think the hope is we spread it out, and then this year maybe we get European football. Maybe it's like Champions League football, but maybe it's European football, so you get a bit of extra cash there. Next summer, you can sell a few more players, maybe the likes of Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, those kind of guys, getting a bit more cash in. And I think build it that way. So then you end up in a positive cash flow position, I think is going to be the idea.
Because then I think, well, how much have we made from sales? Are we saving around 15 million from Rashford?
Yeah.
10, 15, call it.
We've got the sell-on clauses, which is what, 15?
Langer and Alvaro, which is 15, yeah. So
we're are we getting 2 million for Oladelli as well, who's going to...
So call it 30 million is what we've managed to clear. Like, Sancho still hasn't gone, Anthony hasn't, Garnacho hasn't. So I don't know where they're at in a minute. I don't know. Clearly they can spend. If they're the targets that they're going to go for, clearly there's money there to be spent.
Yeah.
But we just need the outgoings to get a bit of a move on, which is going to take a bit of time, which David Ornstein was speaking about before. He just said it's going to take a while. So, because what clubs are doing now, they're just waiting till the end of the window, aren't they? To kind of say, Anthony's still not got a club, has he?
Yeah, low ballers.
We'll take him. You pay half his wages. We know he's not going to play in your team. So, we'll just give you that. All right, let's switch up a little bit. I want to speak about Brian Mbumo's interview. I've not got the quotes out from it that you usually get. We said it in the chat, didn't we? Like, you can do your first player interview bingo card and it'll have dream on there, ambition, the fans, the manager, the usual kind of PR stuff around with Manchester United. I've just kind of cherry picked the ones that I think I find interesting. So he got asked about going from working with Thomas Frank to Ruben Amorim. He said, I think they have similar values. He seems really close to his players, his mentality. This is the things I need. On the system, do you see any adaptation issues at all? Or do you think he will just fit in seamless?
I think he'll be fine. I think he'll just click. He played in the Premier League. He's not injury prone. Like I think he played pretty much every Premier League game last year, if I'm right.
Yeah.
He's consistently scored goals for 3 seasons in a row. I think he'd be fine. I don't have any worries about him at all.
Yeah, this is a guy who's played as a split striker, he's played as a winger, he's played more of as an aggressive wing back under Thomas Frank at times as well when he's needed to defend a little bit more. So I can see him and Ahmad really dovetailing well in those positions. He also said there are some great players in this team: Bruno, Cunha, Xerxes. In every line I could say a name, and I'm really happy to meet him. Seems like he's got a bit of a fanboy as well in Lenny Yoro. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, Yoro left a comment, didn't he?
I don't know where that is, by the way. I don't know if he knows him or I don't have a clue.
I do. I mean, they both speak French, so there's a connection there. I noticed he didn't mention his international teammate Onana, though, did he? Didn't mention him.
No. Do you know what I quite like about him though? So when he was being asked about like what kind of guy is he and what does he do outside of football, he was saying like he plays the piano and chess. And he's quite a chilled guy and reserved. And I was thinking, Chivy needs to watch this interview. I think Chivy would kind of be like, resonate a lot with him. So he's like a very chilled guy, which is, again, Fergie always said, didn't he? Like when you're doing your due diligence on players, ask them, have they got a wife? Are they settled? Are they married? Like what are they doing outside of football?
You want a player who on the pitch is an absolute madman, but off the pitch is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Like you just want them to be all they do is sit home, they walk the dogs, they spend time with a wife and the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe they go to a movie occasionally. Yeah. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. If you have a player and he's out at nightclubs, he's there, it's just like you have to avoid that because it's just going to come back to bite you. So yeah, I like that he's into really chilled pursuits and solo pursuits like chess and playing piano and stuff. But let's not mention piano playing at Old Trafford because that didn't go well last time. Let's not do that.
Yeah, very good point. Lenny Yoro as well, though, that's the reason why I like the interview. Yoro strikes me as the same type of guy.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of temperament and composure, and he's the exact same on the pitch. Like nothing seems to faze him, which is why I think it's very, with Cunha and Mbeumo, it seems to be a bit of yin and yang. You've got a right-sided one who's aggressive on the pitch and will work. But like in terms of personalities, I feel like Cunha's very fiery, whereas Mbeumo's very reserved. So I'm interested to see how that dynamic is going to work, especially with someone like Joshua Xerxes in the middle as well. You look at Xerxes, he's not a guy who's fiery, is he? He's again someone who's quite reserved. And
Ahmad is very chill.
Yeah,
Delict, very chill guy. Like they're all pretty like relaxed. Maybe it's just a European thing. Like Delict's from the Netherlands, they're all very chill guys. Xerxes, another one, so they're all quite sort of laid back people.
Just on Xerxes, what's your expectations from this season? How do you think he's going to do?
Depends how we use him, doesn't it? It depends what his function is going to be. Because when he came on last season, it was to sort of replace Højlund, and he offered something different than what Højlund does. He linked play really well. He was good with a one-touch and one-twos and sort of getting people in behind, like Bruno, like Ahmad, Garnacho at times. But it depends how we're going to use him this season. I'm really interested in pre-season. Obviously, he was minor injury, so he didn't play in Stockholm. But it'd be interesting to see on the tour, like how he plays, like how Amorim's potentially going to utilize him with maybe Mbeumo and Cunha, or maybe he sort of plays more further up front. I'd like to see some more goals from him. That'd be nice. I don't expect him to score 25 goals because that's just not who he is, but I would like to see him. What did he get? Like 4 goals last year, which 4 or 5, I think. Not great. Like I'd like to see him try and get close to 10, like double figures. Like I'd like to see that.
If you reflect on his season last year, though, like obviously he had that situation, didn't he, at Newcastle?
Yeah.
Where he was getting, I think it was at Old Trafford, wasn't it, but against Newcastle, where he was getting booed off. And then you saw towards the back end of the season, there was just something there, like a bit of a spark. I don't know what it was, but his performances seemed to slightly improving a little bit more.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about having to use that connection at the top with Mbeumo and Cunha, that's going to take time.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while, because the reason why teams like Mane, Salah, and Firmino were so good is because it was telepathic. Same thing with MSN, Messi, Neymar, Suarez. They played together a lot. And I just think in the first couple of months, I wouldn't expect an instant kind of...
No.
I might be completely wrong, but I wouldn't expect an instant connection.
Yeah, you like York and Cole. Like if you go back to United days, that took time. They didn't even like each other in like real life. They weren't pals at all, but they developed a connection on the pitch. Obviously, you had Rooney, Ronaldo, and Tevez. Like you saw how good that sort of triple threat became. So yeah, it'll take time. But I remember on the Xerxes thing, Bruno spoke to him after he went down to the dressing room, didn't he? And spoke to him. I think he was suspended at the time. And convinced him to come back out. So I think that sort of helps matters as well. That bonds a team, that brings players together and stuff like that. I like Xerxes a lot. I really do. I think he's a really top bloke, and to come back from the adversity that he's had, I think he's excellent. And the fact that fans got behind him as well, were chanting his name at the Liverpool game when he's warming up and stuff like that. I like that. I'm a big fan of that.
The one thing I'm clinging on to is how techie he is. Because I remember watching him at the Arsenal game, and he had Saliba and Gabriel in knots, like falling over themselves. And he did quite a few. He's quite strong as well. He can really hold the ball off well. But he's just not the quickest, and he's not a threat. He's not like an out and out. Like if he was a threat in the 18-yard box, he'd be a fucking problem. But he's not. So that's why this game on Saturday against West Ham, I'm really excited to see how it's going to work if they play them together. So yeah, just the last thing on Mbumo's interview, he got asked about representing his country. It's, it's one of the biggest things. He's really proud of where he's from. Only 2 other players from Cameroon have played for United. Do you know who they are, Sam?
Says Onana, obviously. And then I want to say, is it Briam Juve? Is that the guy? I want to say no. He had it was a very popular name. He weren't a great player, but think of the signings that United have had. Is it Jemba?
Yeah.
Is he Cameroonian?
Yeah. Jemba. Yeah, Onana and Jemba. And then obviously now Brian Mbumo. So, look, we're not at the best of luck with Cameroonian players, but hopefully Mbumo will change that. Xerxes looks sharp in front of goal on his backheel spin, so maybe Amarin's pushing to develop his number 9 skills. Yeah, potentially.
We've also not had good luck with Brazilians either at United, to be fair.
We've really not. Fred, Anthony, fucking, the rest of them.
Yeah.
The Europa final just showed the difference between our current strikers. Højlund has no room or the confidence to develop, where Xerxes bounced back so well. But then, I wouldn't... Everyone's writing Højlund off, right? And it just seems like the kind of popular thing to do. But don't forget, under Ten Hag, he did have moments where he was actually good. Like
the Champions League was
good. Yeah,
top goal scorer in the Champions League.
There is something there to work with, and if you bring in a number 9 and he can develop alongside, he might be all right. Or you might United might just want to get rid of him. I don't know.
Maybe. I genuinely think last season his confidence just got shattered. Like his confidence went completely, and you could see it every game. Like he was trying and he was doing his best, but you could just see his confidence was gone, completely gone. And once that happens to a striker, it's so difficult to get them back and get them scoring that everything just goes wrong. And you saw it. There was the opportunity that sticks in my head where he was like, I think he was in the 6-yard box and he gets it onto his foot and just hits it at the plate, and it hits the defender or the goalie, I think, on the line. And you're like, when you looks out, it's just out, and you're just never gonna score when you. That's just the thing. And at some point, you were hoping a goal would go in, and you'd be like, okay, here we go, and it just never did. Unfortunately, in the Europa League, he lobbed that ball, didn't he, over thing, and they cleared it off the line. Was it Van de Ven cleared it off the line, or Romero maybe? And you just thought, like, what can you do? Like, what can you fucking do if that's what's happening to you? So. I feel sorry for him. He has to improve. He really does. But like you said, there is a player there, but he just shouldn't be starting number 9. Like, he just shouldn't be.
Do you know what encapsulated it for me? Do you remember the Chelsea game?
Yeah.
Where he got it on the edge of the box and he just fumbled the ball completely.
Yeah, couldn't get it out of his feet, could he? He was just like,
And the camera panned to him and he was just like, his head was just down. He shouldn't be starting for United.
Nope.
Should not be starting for United.
No.
He should be learning off someone. Speaking of learning off someone, there's a situation ongoing at the minute, which I want to get your opinion on and everyone else's. So, Johan Visser has left Brentford's pre-season base in Portugal amid growing uncertainty over his future, with Newcastle already having a bid worth £25 million rejected by the Bees. Tottenham and Forest are also among those interested in the 28-year-old. For that price, should we not be looking at that?
I was going to say, mate, that you made a joke in the group chat saying, throw 20 million to take the piss. But it seems like that's what the price is going for. Like, Newcastle, 25 million. So it's like, yeah, throw a cheeky bid in. Do you want to reunite with your best mate? Do you want to come play at
the worst
United?
thing in the world, wouldn't it? Like, if you talk about a quote-unquote stopgap, like, Watkins' stopgap's going to cost 60, 70 million. Visser...
half the price. Yeah,
like I would go and do that personally if you're struggling with the striker.
It's
still a guy. He's got 19 goals.
Yeah, it's worth a question. Like, it's definitely worth. Also, if he doesn't go to Newcastle, that would be fucking hilarious because the amount of players who've just told him to go fuck themselves is fantastic.
Do you think they are almost like the pinata of the Premier League in this window?
They're just getting pied left, right, and centre, aren't they, by everybody?
By loads of people.
João Pedro,
João Pedro was
Ekitike.
Ekitike was another one.
Obviously, Mbumo turned them down.
Yeah, Mbumo turned down. Mark Gahey, I think, as well.
Mark Gahey. Didn't they go in for Kudus as well? I'm sure they went in for Kudus.
Potentially, yeah. I think initially they got Elanga now, haven't they? But they got rejected by Elanga. Like, they've been fucking done by everyone.
Yep.
By loads of players. I don't know why as well, because Newcastle, I think... As a club, I think they're quite a respectable club. Like, they're a massive club. The fan base is huge. They're in the Champions League.
I think it's the location. I think, especially foreign players. Foreign players, nobody wants to live up there. Like, if you offer a foreign player, they know Manchester and you know London. So there's loads of London clubs, and Manchester or somewhere near Manchester, like Liverpool or something like that. They're more likely to move there. But if you want to go live in the northeast, it's not a really appealing prospect. A lot of sort of foreign players.
I'm gonna call it now. I'm gonna do a rogue shout. The United might chuck the hat in for that. If they see the money that's being talked about
try it.
That's worth 35 mil to chuck a bid at it. 100%. His wages won't be massive. He's been good in the Premier League for a good few years now. Again, played in that kind of back three system, split striker system, wherever. I think it's worth it. Genuinely, I'd have a conversation at least.
You've got that Mbumo link as well. Like, he had an excellent partnership with him. He enjoys playing with him. He put a post out when he left today, so there's clearly like a bond there. Like, I don't see why not, especially at that price. Like that price, why not?
Hey, he's on 25 grand a week.
There you go. You could triple his wages, and it's still not a massive fucking wage for us. 125 grand, like, you could triple it. So
25 grand a week for a Premier League player, that's crazy.
Yeah, triple it. 75 grand a week. You could triple his wages and it's still under 100 grand a week. Like,
19 goals and 4 assists last season. The season before that, 12 goals and 3 assists.
He could play striker. He could play out wide. He could play in the attack. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's versatile, much like Cunha is, much like Mbumo is. Like,
I think that's less of a risk than bringing in Jackson for 80 million. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Fucking 80 million as well. That is
crazy.
Such a stupid price.
I would be so disappointed with United if they did a swap deal with Garnacho and then paid money as well on top of that for Jackson.
No, not.
I'd be genuinely, I'd be like, that's fucking ridiculous. I don't care if he's out of favour.
If they did that, I'm like, is Woodward back at the club? Like, who sanctioned this fucking deal? Like,
absolutely ridiculous. My dad saying, as Nick was saying, he'd be a serious handful if he had a number 9 mindset. I think it's in relation to Xerxes.
Yep.
And Mbumo, just on pedigree alone, is already Manchester United's greatest Cameroonian player.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, listen, speaking of Cameroonians, I'd take a look at Baliba, mate, in that midfield.
Oh, mate.
Get Baliba in there. Telling you.
If we could get him in, my pants would come off, honestly. That'd be the perfect midfield signing. Perfect.
That is to a point where I would almost accept that. I think we've spoke about this. You prefer midfield. I've said a 9. I would accept
if they bought him.
Yeah, I would accept it if they got Baliba in the middle. Yeah. Because I think with Mbumo, Cunha, Bruno, Ahmad, you can just eke out enough, maybe. Yeah. Whereas that midfield is going to get run through like fuck.
Yeah.
Andy's saying, I can't believe the midfield is being neglected. That should be a priority. Right on cue. Debussy says, I wish Mateta didn't sign that contract extension and say he wants United. Dan's in the chat as well, saying we need a clinical finisher who can finish at least 6, 7 out of 10 clear chances. Good conversion rate. And is anybody worried that we're going to be playing Bruno deep all season and we aren't looking for a top draw midfielder? Preach it, mate. Preach it.
I mean, Ornstein says we are looking for a midfielder, but whether we get one or not,
top one.
yeah, whether we get one or not is another matter. Like, again, we said at the beginning of this, we're not going to be able to fix every issue this window. There is going to be one that gets neglected. So whether that's midfield, whether that's goalie, whether that's striker, one of these positions we're probably going to miss out on, unfortunately. And whatever position it is, people will go, oh, we should have fixed that. You can't win. Like, you just can't win. All of these positions need to be fixed, but all of them are not going to get fixed, unfortunately.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Just for the last 5 minutes, if any of you guys have any questions, any debates, literally anything at all, it doesn't even have to be football related, to be honest, that you want to chuck in the chat, then please do go for it. I'm just double checking. There was the list for the tour in USA, the players that are going. I'm just trying to find it.
I think it's Harry Maguire's not joining them till tomorrow because there was a personal issue, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's
not
going.
What that's about?
No, they've not mentioned. They've not mentioned what it is. But he's put a message out saying everything's fine and he'll join tomorrow. So it seems like it's nothing serious. But Ethan Williams has gone instead, hasn't he? The young defender. He's gone instead.
Oh right. I thought he was going.
He was supposed to be. He was supposed to be, but then apparently last minute change. He's gone with the squad because Amrin rates him, I think.
Right. So goalkeepers, you got Altai, Bayandir, Tom Heaton, Dermot Mee, Will Murdoch, and Andre Onana. Defenders, you got Delo, Delit, Dorgu. Fucking that's a long name. That Jesus.
Oh, is it Chinzawana or something?
Yeah, Chinazak Pere Dorgu.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I thought it was a new player then.
No,
Tyler Fredrickson, Aiden Heaven, Diego Leon, Lisandro Martinez, Majraure, Reese Monroe, Shaw, Lenny Yoro. Then you got Casemiro, Collier, Bruno, Jack Fletcher, Sekou Kone, Mainu, Mount, Ugarte, and then Ahmad, Cunha, Hoyland, Mantato, and Bumo, Chido, Xerxes, and Ethan Williams. How excited do you see some of them players, Sam, and youngsters as well? Let's have a conversation about
that. Chido would be good to get minutes. I want to see where he's at in his development. I think if we got a striker in, I would say loan him. Just because I think he needs to sort of bulk up a bit and get some experience, maybe in the championship like Ahmad did. That would be fantastic. Mantato, I've been waiting to see him for ages. I've been waiting to see what this kid's got. Like,
didn't get very long, did he, in the last game? I think he got like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Mupteers has spoke him up saying he's fucking amazing. He would have got his shot had he not got injured at some point. So he'd be really interesting. Sekou Kone, I think, would be an interesting sort of prospect. If we don't move for a midfielder, could we give the minutes to him and see how he develops? Because he was supposed to go on loan to Lausanne, wasn't he? And now Amrin's changed his mind because he thinks he's fantastic, like really good in training. So maybe there's a solution there. So yeah, those are the ones I've been looking at to see how their development is. Obviously, I think Cheeto needs a loan, but Sekou Kone and Mantato, they could be guys that stick around for the first team.
I think it's, for a young player, coming in the midfield is probably the hardest position to do. Genuinely, I think
especially when you're young, like especially
if you're coming in as a young striker, it's kind of like, put the ball in the back of the net. When you receive it to feet, play off, like basic standards. Midfield, you got to deal with 2, 3, whoever it is. Like, oh yeah, by the way, today you're playing against Casado, Enzo, and whoever else is in the midfield. Like, it's tricky. So Sekou Kone, I'm really excited. I'm glad he's not going on loan. I was actually very surprised when it came up that he was Lausanne. He was going there. I was like, huh? Because I'm hearing a lot about this kid. I'm seeing him scoring some bangers in games, and I'm like, I don't know. I want to see him, man. If you're giving all these other people opportunities, Heaven, Obe, I want to see Sekou Kone, and I think that's the main thing I want to take away from this preseason tour in America. Those kind of players. Diego Leon, I've seen one game with him so far. I want to see more of him. Just football in general, Sam, to be honest.
Like, we like, obviously it's exciting to see Cunha, but we know what he's about, don't we? We know what he is. We've seen him at Wolves. We know what he can do. In Mbumo's the same. It'd be exciting to see him play with United, but we know what he's about. These young kids have been hyped up, and there's some talk behind them, and we've sort of scouted them. Like, whether Sekou Kone, is it Mali? I think Mali and league or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's far-flung, sort of like Diego Leon from Paraguay.
Well out there.
Yeah, like out there sort of thing. So it's really interesting to see what their development's like, how good they are. Obviously, Harry Amas is going to go on loan. I'm not sure where yet, but Diego Leon looks physically ready for the league, but obviously he's still raw. He's 17, so it's time he's going to stick with the first team. So yeah, there's a lot of sort of interesting youth players, and a lot of people are like, oh, I want signings, or I want like Osman or whatever. I think it's really exciting when you see young, talented players come to United, and you're like, okay, where could this going to go? Because some of our best players in our history have come from our academy and been academy products, and I like it
young as well. So Cristiano, for example,
I like stuff like that. I like them sort of coming in and growing up in the team and becoming something. Like I enjoy that.
I mean, Mali, correct me if I'm wrong, is in Africa, right?
Mali, yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, I can't remember what I was reading the other day. It was an article that was saying there's so much untapped talent in Africa. Like, are you seeing it with? There's like a trend at the minute in South America. Like, a lot of teams are over there picking up these gems, whether it's Julian Alvarez, you just mentioned we picked up.
Diego
Leon. Like, there's been loads of talent plucked from there. I don't see why they can't do it in countries like Africa and bring through players. Like, a lot of African players are flourishing in the league at the minute, the Premier League as well.
I think the infrastructure for the football and the scouting isn't quite there in certain countries, because Africa's huge. Like, it's a massive continent, like just gigantic. And I just don't think the infrastructure's there. Whereas if you go to South America, their number one thing is football. Their number two thing is football. Like they are football. Like that is everything in South America. So you've got this system and structure set up all over. So it's a lot easier to sort of take these players and get these players and stuff like that. Especially the pathway to Europe. Like, it's the amount of South American players who've come to Europe is
it's outrageous.
It must be millions.
Even
in
the Premier League. I mentioned that Chelsea's midfield then, Enzo Casado, both £100 million players.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like it's insane. So I think that's part of it. But like you said, some of the best players I've ever seen have been African players. Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba. They've been this phenomenal players. So it is well worth putting a scouting team out there and having them look. We've seen people go out to Asia, like Korea, Japan, stuff like that, and pick up. Obviously, Mitoma's one. Who's the guy who plays for PSG? Is it Lee Kang?
Lee? Yeah. You had obviously Son Heung-min as well. From there, so
there's talent everywhere. You've just got to be there and find it. That's what it is.
Midfield is needed. You won't be able to send the ball in their half. My damn scene. Are we doing FPL again this season, guys?
Yes.
Game's gone live. We'll do it. Yeah, if there's enough interest there to do it.
We'll do it. We'll do it. We did it for members last year, but if everybody who comes in who's not a member wants to do it, I'll do it for everybody. I'll put it out for members for now.
Yeah.
If other people want to join, just drop in the thing and I'll drop the code. But yeah, we'll definitely do it again. I can't remember who won. Was it who won last year? I
don't know, because I got, with the other one that I am in, I got sidetracked because there was money involved in that and it was forfeits and everything. So it became no one wanted to finish last, so it became proper serious. So
yeah, I think somebody from the members did win last year. I did try to contact them, but they didn't respond. So but I did think somebody won last year.
The Beasts, you think Vivell would reduce Sesko's price? It's not up to Vivell.
No,
but Vivell's in a senior recruitment role at United. He'll have links with Leipzig and be able to talk to him, but Leipzig have set a price. And also, the more worrying thing with him is, well, I don't know if you call it worrying, but the fact he's asking for a release clause. Yeah. So it seems like he's got that kind of Ibrahimovic plan in his head that he wants to go to the Premier League, do something there, go to Madrid, do something there. Maybe that mapping it out like that, which is why he's including release clauses, I'd imagine.
There's also Leipzig as well. They know what they're doing when they sell players. Like, they don't sell players cheap ever. They always sell. They always get players in for cheap and then they sell them for a good price. That's how their club is ran. Like, that's their sort of model. So trying to get somebody cheap from Leipzig is like trying to get blood out of a stone. It's not doable.
No, agreed. Right, let's see what happens in the near future. Hopefully we get some movement on a striker and the goalkeeper, because it needs to be done. But for now, we've got the preseason tour in America kicking off on Saturday against West Ham. I think that's on at 12 o'clock at night. So quite a late one. But I'll be watching it just because I want to see these youngsters. I want to see what they're about, and I want to see if we're improving on the pitch tactically and how Mbumo works and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, I don't know what I'm going to do about the pre-match live about that because it's Saturday night and it's 12 o'clock. So we'll see what's what, but we'll be live during the week anyway. And for all the kind of transfer news fix, you know what to do already. Just drop us a follow on socials. Subscribe to the channel as well. We hit 20k yesterday, I think it was, and we're already on 20,190. Subs at the minute, which is just fucking crazy. So appreciate all of yous. This has been Late Night Live. Sam, sorry, was you gonna go?
Yeah, final thing. R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. Sadly, died today. I'm a big heavy music fan, big sort of metal guy. So yeah, Black Sabbath, obviously one of the pioneers of metal and rock music. But yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace, man.
Yeah, how crazy was it that he had his last gig, wasn't it? It was 2 weeks ago.
It was almost like serendipitous, wasn't it? It's like your final gig and then bang, and he's gone out. So
out as well.
Interesting.
Was it Alzheimer's? Is that?
I think it's was it Parkinson's?
Is it Parkinson's?
And shakes and stuff. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Honestly.
Alzheimer's. Obviously, you wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate, but he wasn't a well man anyway.
Yeah, rest in peace, of course. Absolute pioneer in the music industry. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for the show. Take it easy.